Get rid of my video. All right.
You.
Okay, I would say he's probably ready by now.
Yeah, I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay, there you go.
That was a
Okay.
little longer than 10 seconds.
So lucky there's no screen, no camera on mine, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the special Orange Board of Selectmen meeting of January 26, 2021 at 7 p.m. Notice in accordance with the Governor Lamont's Executive Order 7B regarding the COVID-19 pandemic, this meeting will be held remotely with no in-person attendance. I'm reading the agenda. Call this meeting to order. Thank you. Roll call, if you would like to each introduce yourselves.
Good evening, Judy Williams.
Good
Hey,
evening,
Ralph.
Ms.
Margaret
Rollblatt.
Novicki.
Good evening, John Carangelo.
Okay, Ralph was just calling in again, so I just handed it to Ann. And you will see up in the corner Dennis Kokinos, who's our attorney of the evening. Good evening, attorney.
Nice to meet you.
Okay. Item number 1 under new business is to consider an act on resolution appropriating $8,600,000 for the purchase of the Raceburg Country Club, 246 Derby Avenue, Orange, Connecticut, including approximately 287 acres of land, buildings, and improvements thereon, and authorizing the issuance of $8,600,000 in bonds of the town to meet said appropriation, and pending the issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowings for such purposes. Sheesh. Okay. There is a very long resolution included in your packet that has been posted, will be legal notice and all of that. I don't believe that we have to have all the resolve that goes on after it. I think that pretty well sums it up. What it is just so you'll know, there is a difference of $100,000 from what you've been hearing, reading, seeing, chattering, and that is what they now have got on when the attorney from bond counsel and bond broker and all finally got together. That's your subordinate fees that will go with that. That's an estimated amount, and it won't exceed that, but that's what we need for that. So that's the resolution. So is there any motion or discussion or question on that? Did you all read those 3 pages that were included with that? And was there any problems, questions, or concerns with that? Okay, Margaret and Mitch, and Judy, you are all muted, just so you know, if you have anything to say on it. Hearing nothing, is there a motion made on that? Motion made by Carangelo. Is there a second made on that? Okay, Williams. Very good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Raise your hands this way. Thank you. Well, unanimous. Item number 2 is to consider an act on request to authorize the first selectman on behalf of the Board of Selectmen to call special town meeting to be held virtually via Zoom for February 2nd, 2021 at 7 p.m. And there are some parameters for doing that, and they will be, the guys need some things so they can understand a little better the IT department. So for the public notice on that, the public can attend the meeting via one of the following methods. Zoom, pre-registration is required, and the registration link will be found on the Town of Orange special meeting Zoom pre-registration on our website. The participant will be allowed to public comment via Zoom with the chat feature, which is similar to what the Rotary Club did the other day for their meeting with Steve Pepe addressing their group. Worked out rather well, actually. Town Public Access Television Channel, OGAT Channel 79 on Optimum, and Frontier OGAT Channel 6063. Participant will be allowed to public comment via email. Email will be provided at the start of the meeting. So those are ways, but people will have the opportunity to participate. We've had a tremendous amount of participation, a lot of positive feedback on it, but a lot of similar questions. It's questions that, what happens if Racebrook fails? Well, if Racebrook fails, that's the best reason, I guess, you have to own it, is because that would control it. Some people I've offered, I said, I have a map sitting here on my desk. I said, come in and look at the map of their initial subdivision that they have, which is how we found out that this was happening. So things like that, but those are their biggest concerns, really. And of course, people who want to play for free, and I try to explain, we're buying the property, but we are not running a golf course business. Maybe down the road, I've been contacted by 2 management companies that do this, and whoever is sitting here would have to cross that bridge with all of you or whoever is sitting there if that were to happen. It's as simple as that. So,
Jim?
to consider, I'll read it. Yes.
May I just quick interject something? When we start the February 2nd meeting, are you going to start off by hopefully answering some of these questions that have been out there? And is it a possibility that we can get Chris to put the map up? Visuals are wonderful. And I'm just wondering, instead of us waiting for, as you say, repetition of questions, could we start off with maybe a narrative from you saying these are some of the questions?
Well, there will be questions ahead of time that, as people are submitting them, whether to me or to you guys, if you get questions you're not sure about, if you want to forward them over, go ahead. But there will be the most common questions. I plan on trying to give them answers to at the start of the meeting as part of the presentation. As far as the map, Judy, we have the map, but the problem is I don't know how it's going to appear on here. If you watch like the Board of Finance meetings when Jim Leahy puts up the all of his charts and sheets with the numbers and all, it's kind of lost in its size. So I don't know if it'll have an effect, but yes, we do have the maps, and it's something that we're going to try to put on the easel and see if we can get a visual of, but we don't know how well it will play on the screen, I guess is the best I can say with that. Also, I gave John yesterday, Cifarelli, the numbers of the proposed lease payments and the estimated yearly bond payments so that he can do some calculations there. That's the other big question. What will the impact be? And so John I think he did it today, the calculations for that, so that impact, what that impact will be. In rough numbers, I've been grinding them out, and currently a mill in Orange is about $2 million, if you want to all remember this. A mill is about $2 million. The highest bond payments in the estimated sheet that we had was $550, say $550 for a round number. So it's about a quarter of a mill. And then if Racebrook is paying, it starts out at $250. Follow me slowly here. If Racebrook is paying you in a lease $250, that reduces that number almost in half. So the mill rate impact would be about 1/8 of a mill, which would be $250 for round numbers. And then that would have to be extracted out to see what that impact would be on your average home like any of us live in. That's what will be calculated out for the February 2nd meeting. So do you follow what I said with that?
Yeah.
As far as breaking it down? So John is doing that calculation for you, so you'll be able to follow it a little bit better. Those are the biggest questions, really. If they go bankrupt, and what will the impact be? Those were the two biggest concerns. Most people aren't even necessarily talking, a few are talking about housing and walk paths and stuff, but most of them are talking impact and if the Racebrook were to cease to exist as they do. And the answers to those would be crossed. The answer to the one if they cease to exist would have to be crossed at that time, but like I said, there are management companies. There's one out of Reston, Virginia, contacts us about once a week wanting to know if anything has changed. So, that was good. Steve Pepe reported at the meeting where he presented to the Rotary Club last Friday. They also gained 97 new memberships in 2020. And a lot of people don't know that they have a reciprocal agreement with the Pawcasset Club. So some of these young people and all that want to join something where they can have a crossover. I don't know the complete terms of that reciprocal agreement, but Pawcasset Club has a reciprocal. So if you have children that you want to send swimming and a mom that wants to go golfing, there is an opportunity there also to explore besides just a regular general membership. I think that is something a lot of people don't know. So, there's a lot of information out there. Yes, Mitch.
Yeah. So, Jim, I have a few things to say, but first I'd like to just kick it off kind of like saying, I'll make a motion that we authorize you on behalf of the Board of Selectmen to call a special town meeting be held virtually via Zoom on February 2nd, 2021 at 7 p.m. So I want to put that as a form of motion.
Second.
And John is seconding. Excellent. All in favor?
Well, before we vote, I want to discuss it before we vote if we could.
Oh, you want to have discussion? Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I appreciate everything you just said. I think it is important to follow that with the fact that people have been, I'm sure all of us have been contacted. So I'm not going to say I'm unique, but a lot of people are concerned about quote unquote the transparency of this. I think having this meeting, this vote coming up right this second is extremely important. Even last night, the Board of Finance themselves were somewhat critical of us not even understanding what's going on in their own minds as a Board of Finance, which I found disheartening. I said at the outset, Margaret and I have discussed this with the Orange Democratic Town Committee, trying to explain the benefits of this. And a lot of people were satisfied. A lot of people were not, because there's still questions we couldn't answer. So this meeting on the 2nd, it's so important that the things you've just mentioned, Jim, be presented right up front. I would suggest, actually, based on the number of emails you've gotten, which I'm sure is far more than what we've seen because we're on distribution for some, that you may put together, maybe with John Cifarelli's help or even Vin Marino's help, an FAQ, frequently asked questions, that I think we should put right on the website even before this meeting, so that some of the people can just go to the website and get some of these answers that's really bothering them right up front. And most of it, as you said, has to do with financials, right down to, and you just outline things neatly for us, but what somebody else would come back and say, okay, it's an eighth of a mil, but now you're not counting the 135,000, give or take, that we're not getting in taxes. So, I mean, all that's got to be put out there in a very straightforward way, and then let people make their decision. But the biggest problem I see is that people are skeptical because they don't feel they don't have the answers, and we can provide them. You especially, because you've got them. We don't have them all. That's been the biggest problem, But get those FAQs out ahead of the meeting. You've mentioned in previous times. You mentioned a video. I don't know if that's still being prepared and whether that's something we can, show at the outset of this Zoom meeting. some people are just saying, why is it even necessary? I mean, we've all heard from you for the last 6 months, mostly in the executive session, as to why this is necessary, or why we're even doing this in the first place. That's got to come out, as to what brought us to this situation. And things like, explaining why this is different and very different than Woodbridge. So that people, because I keep hearing, oh, we don't want to be another Woodbridge. I don't want to be another Woodbridge either when it comes to the golf course. And I keep trying to tell people we are not trying to run. We're not trying to run a golf course. We have no intention of running the golf course, the municipal golf course, but it just needs to get out there. Just that those kind of, like, there's been simple questions like, if there's a maintenance issue on the land, now that we own the land, is our public works going to be the ones who take care of the land, or is Racebrook going to continue? I think the answer is Racebrook's going to continue, but I'm not sure on some of the answers. So those are the things, Jim, that we really need to get out there on the second, right out front, and then take the other questions as they come, as you say, through the chat, through email, which I think is a great idea for people that don't pre-register or can't do that, but can still watch it on TV and whatever. So thank you for letting me, try to guide us or guide you as to what I think we need to do. So thank you.
No, that's a good idea. I didn't think of putting some of those answers on there. That's a good idea. I saw a letter that Steve Pepe forwarded to me. Your support piece was excellent, well written, very nicely done. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
That was good. Steve did a excellent job the other day for the Rotary Club presentation, and I was really quite impressed because he started talking about it right from when I found out about it, when they were doing the test holes for the 19 lots along Shepherd Lane, Lambert, Orange Center, 34 Racebrook. And he went through it all the way from there, all the way to where we are now. And he did an excellent job, which is something that I plan to mirror at the town meeting. So that will answer a lot of those questions right at the beginning, is how I plan on doing that, is to mirror what Steve did with Rotary on Friday. I don't know if any of you were on that Zoom or not, but he did an excellent job. While we're open for chat, anybody else for chat on this? Raise your hand. And
one quick follow-up. Will Steve Pepe or someone representing Racebrook be at our meeting to answer questions from that end?
I believe Steve Pepe's going to be involved, yes.
Good. That'd be good. Thank you.
Yep. Anybody else? No. If you hear from people that they've sent me an email and they haven't heard back from me, I am answering them every day as best I can. But one person, I'm going to use his name here, and with no offense, but like Ken sent an email, which Mitch knows. It had 6 or 7 questions, but then it had 11 sub-questions. So it takes a while to chop through all of those. So answering one email like that takes me 3 times as long as somebody who's like, well, what are we going to do with the land if they go broke? There's some that are very simple and some that are very involved. And so it does take time, but I am answering everyone that I know of that comes through the email that, makes it to my desk. And we're doing them as fast as we can, but there are quite a few of them. I'll have a count for you at that meeting so you know how many there truly are. Some we've all, like you said, some we've all been included on, and some not. Not too many have brought up that Woodbridge thing, though. That was a hot topic. Evidently, they hit the Bethany Orange Woodbridge mom's Facebook page this past weekend, I guess, somewhat, is what I was told. I'm not on that, so I don't know, but I did hear about that. So with that said, any other discussion on the second one, which has been read and motioned and all of that, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. It's unanimous. Hi, Ralph, you made it in.
I made it in on the audio.
Okay, you don't sound too good. You feel all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay, you're a little fried.
Okay, I voted aye.
Okay. All right. Now you got to make sure, Ralph, you get your system. If you need us to send Josh or Chris or one of them over there before the 2nd,
Okay.
Let us know. Don't wait until the 2nd at 1 o'clock in the afternoon so we can get you straightened out on that.
Okay, thanks.
All righty. With that, that's all that's on the agenda for tonight. And I've read what our sign-up methods are for this. Feel free to share those. And actually, you know what? Ann can send that out to you, all of you, so that, because I know there'll be people that want to know it. I will say one last thing before we close. Thank you all. This has been it's almost been a little frustrating with some of the commentaries and stuff out there. But I received an email when I sat down at my desk here yesterday morning, and it was from a reporter who wanted the Zoom connection and all this stuff and the special meeting date and all the connections to that one and all. And I said, this just went out at 3:23 on Friday afternoon, and you're asking me. I said, the selectmen don't even have that information yet. I said, so you're going to have to wait till we get it, and then we'll have it for you. So I'll have Ian send that information out to you for the how people can question, and then you can share it with others as needed.
I have a question. How else will it be? Will the meeting be publicized? It'll be on the website, I assume, but how will people know?
It's on the website. There's legal notices going in the paper, and I would suggest all of you, if you have any sort of accounts, feel free to share it on whether you have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't mind that. I was criticized by one resident here for putting town things on my Facebook as well as, they're on the town website, and I share them as well. And I know you guys do on different things too. I don't think that's a bad thing. We're not speaking out of, I don't know what the right word is, but out of some sort of malice or something towards the town. We're trying to get the word out there. And there are so many people that follow all of us in different avenues. What is the harm of us sharing it so that, it hits more people? Not everybody goes on, just our town committee sites or onto our, business site or the town website. So this way here, different people that know you in a personal manner or something here in town might see, oh, I didn't realize that, and they pick it up. Do any of you see harm in that? I mean, I think to get information out, I don't see that as harmful.
Jim,
You're not telling them.
Jim, I don't see harm in adding it to your personal website and our personal websites. The issue I see is if that becomes the only place for it. So, and that's where I feel it shouldn't be. You just asked.
No.
But if you're just replaying or something that is also can be found on the town website, that's fine. I just don't feel that your personal email, your personal Facebook page should be the official page that people go to. Putting it there as well, absolutely, because we'll all do as much as we can to get this out. I know people are interested in this, and hoping that they do tune in. Jim, one other question I was just thinking of when it comes to the Zoom meeting, who's going to be controlling it? It can't be you. It's got to be either Chris or somebody.
I presume it will be our IT department. That is 4 people, actually. So all I can say is IT department. I can't tell you who. I presume it's going to be Chris or Josh or both.
What? I'm sorry. I didn't need a specific name. What I meant was,
the IT department.
We need to make sure somebody is controlling the meeting towards the chat, making sure people are muted. Some people will unmute, make sure they remute, things like that. So you and us, but mostly you, but the Board of Selectmen has control of this meeting. And that doesn't mean that people aren't allowed to ask questions and get answers, but it means that we don't want to see, a cacophony of people talking in the background, not be able to hear or see what's going on. We haven't done this by Zoom in the past, so.
I know, Mitch, and as I stutter sitting here, even thinking about it, it ought to be quite interesting. That's why they're using that chat version of it. So they'll have to go down the bottom, click on that chat link, and type in their question that way. And then I guess I'll have to go in and, call them out one at a time to read the question and, put it out there. But the IT department will be handling it overall. Which person, I don't know, but it will be our IT department.
But even with the chat, Jim, because I've tried to do these things before myself in business, you need somebody other than yourself that's going to read you if you try to read the questions and answer them at the same time and scroll it, it's just going to get at it. It's just going to take too long. Somebody, should be assigned, whether it doesn't matter who, that will screen those questions and feed you. Here's the next question, Jim, kind of thing. I think that's important.
Well, that'll probably be, quite honestly, that'll probably be Ann then, because she's sitting out in her office while I'm sitting here in mine.
Okay.
So that's probably the best team you can get as far as that.
That's fine. As long as you kind of set it up ahead of time, it'll work.
Well, we're going to try. I'm going to have 2 screens on my desk also, so I can see the emails. So it ought to be interesting, and they may have a camera on me for that one also.
Okay.
All the things that are being resolved with that. Let's see. All right, I want to speak to an item that's not an agenda item, so I'd like to I want to speak to the clinic situation. Is that all right with everybody if I add that on the agenda here just as an FYI?
Just speak. Don't add it to the agenda, because the agenda's a special meeting, so just speak.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I'll have to wait till we close the that part of the thing. All right, then, Chris, don't shut us off when we're done with this, but motion to adjourn adjourn the special meeting. Ms. Williams, okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Second by Margaret. The special meeting is adjourned at 7:32. Now I want to give you just a little update on something that just transpired in the last couple days. It started with a meeting over at OVNA regarding the clinic and all, and OVNA running that with the health director and all. And it's gotten a little bit confused. And so OVNA and the health department were able to put together a small clinic, a 50-dose clinic for this Thursday, and they're all sold out already on that. They weren't able to get much more dose, and I've been told that Dr. Amir is getting those doses by way of Quinnipiac Valley Health, which is good. So then as I started to explore more, and I've spoken with 3 different people at the State Department of Health, which we also discussed at this meeting last Thursday over at OVNA, and Yale running theirs. Now, I was under the impression Yale's West Campus Clinic was strictly for people in the Yale Healthcare umbrella and Yale Network, all of that. So I spoke with Scott Strobel, and he found out, no, it's being run by the hospital and it's open to anybody and everybody across the countryside. They're operating, I was told 5 days a week, 8 to 8. Somebody was in here this afternoon, said they're running 7 days, 8 to 8. But they have plenty of staffing. They move it through like a fine-tuned system. Everything's working great. So we're steering some of our residential requests to the VAM site to sign up for that. They're still in Orange getting a vaccine. But this way, it will take care of people quicker because we can't match the big hospitals is what we're finding. The people from the Department of Health, I forget which person that I spoke to, there's 3 of them here on the list, said, well, you may order 300 doses, but when it comes, you may not get 300 doses, or you may get delayed, or you may get no doses. So that's kind of it's challenging and embarrassing if people have the clinic set up and then the medicine is supposed to arrive the day before and, or within a day or 2, and you get 50 doses when you think you're getting 300 or 100 when you think you're getting 300 or whatever. So we're working with Yale a little bit to get the word out that people can go on that site and sign up as well, which is okay. I've spoken with Dr. Amir Mohammed, and I missed each other twice today. It's been a little hectic, but I have spoken with Tino Russo from Emergency Management, and Fred Palmer was in the office here to understand it today, and the police and fire marshal, and the OVNA. So everybody understands what's going on, but any news channel you put on, and for any state, New Jersey, New York, all of them, California, they're not getting enough vaccine yet to meet the demand. And so the little places like us are going to be the first ones that are not receiving, whereas Yale, under their massive umbrella, are, right up at the top of the list for the state. Between them and Hartford Healthcare, they're the two biggest operators in the program. And I've heard great results on both the West Campus one and what Griffin is doing over in Shelton and down in Milford. So they're all working, extremely hard and extremely well. But I just wanted to make people aware that just happened in the last today and the last couple days, right before and after the weekend. And I want to see as many people as possible get vaccinated as rapidly as possible. So we're trying to steer people who had the same impression of the Yale situation as me, that no, they can go there, they can sign up and get a date and be right there. You're still in orange. I've spoken with our community service about running the buses, the full service, as people request service. And even if we need volunteer escorts to make sure people, whether they're wheelchair bound, walker bound, just a little unsteady, to make sure they get into the building, get to where they're supposed to be, and get their shot, and then we get them back home safely after their time there. So we're working on that with community services. I spoke with Craig Winkle today, and he gave me a recommendation of another new driver, since there are certain requirements, for our passenger buses. So I thank him for that. And so we're working pretty hard to make it so everybody can get to somewhere to get the vaccine. That's the ultimate goal here. It's not stepping on anybody. It's just, let's get as many people as we can vaccinated.
Jim, if I may interject, I got my vaccination this afternoon at the West Campus, and it was easy, and they were extremely organized. I was in and out of there in a half an hour.
Yes, that's what I've heard from a couple people, Ralph. Thank you for that. Maybe that's why you couldn't get your email up tonight. It wouldn't work. But so that's what we're working on, and everybody seems to be relatively understanding of it, that it's not a slight in any way. It's just let's get people vaccinated. That's our ultimate goal. I mean, I think, Margaret, you especially, you've lived through this in your previous life, making sure that people get the right treatments and vaccines. And so I hope everybody understands that. With that said, I will see you all on February 2nd. If you have questions, you can come in and ask, or you can email. But if you're in the area, come in and ask. It'll probably be easier and quicker than waiting for me to email back. So, or call me. Well, you can call me. So any of the above. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you. We're adjourned.